Hello everybody and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Yeah, this is a game where you run a space center, just kind of like NASA and similar, but yeah, you'll see how well I do in a second. We're going to have a go at the career mode and see how well we do. See if we go bust or not, which is always a fun thing. Yeah, so best basic size, it's like, yeah, going places, career, yeah, do normal difficulty, and we shall start, and hopefully we'll get going. Okay, so when you start the game, this is the first screen you're greeted with. It's your space center, pretty much. You've got your money at the top, you've got your reputation, science as well, so that's basically for like researching things. So you can kind of move around, rotate, and everything similar. So, going through one by one, you've got a space plane hangar, so that's building planes. You've got astronaut complex, where you can hire new astronauts. Admin building, which is all boring stuff. Research and development, so that's getting new bits of gear, new rockets and similar. You've got tracking station that allows you to track other spacecraft, because sometimes you can put them in orbits, and because they're in orbit, you can keep them there and launch other things as well. You've got the vehicle assembly building, which is for all your big rockets, and then you've got your launch pad. Everything in this, and including the runway, can be upgraded. So, obviously it costs. I don't have anywhere near money to get anything at all. But, let's build the first rocket. Okay, so, building rockets is, in a nutshell, hopefully quite easy. You get your parts, so first of all you start with your command pod, the main bit that's going to go into space. Then you go on and choose the rockets, pretty much. And what makes it so easy is you select your rocket, and you see it's got those black and green balls on it. What it does is that when you go close to another one, it snaps in place, so it just interlocks together, just like that. Other things you can do as well, so let's say we want to add something to keep it stable, just as an example. When you collect it, obviously you can do it loose, so put it however you want, or down here you can do a toggle snap, so it toggles it in a precise place. And to save even more time, you can does it so it applies symmetrical, so 2, 3, or even 4 at the same time. So that means, if I click there, it will have 4 fins. Quite handy actually, so it means you're nice and stable. What else do we... probably the most important thing, the parachute, because what comes up must come down. And another thing to remember is what's in the bottom right here. This is basically your staging order. So whenever you want to apply the next stage, you press the space bar. When you press space, it will fire the main rocket, which is the bit highlighted in green. Then you've got the second part, which is the actual parachute, which is the very top of the plane. But you activate it as you go, which is always super handy. So if I press this one to launch, it will send me to the launch pad. Quite handy actually. I may have edited out the loading screen, but never mind. So this is it. You've got a few bits that you need to take note of. You've got time up here, so you can make time go faster, full crew, signal strength, data, direct connection to space center. Your staging here as well, what stage you're on at the moment. Toggle the map as well, so you can get a map of everything, which is fantastic. Pitch, so how you fly. This bit here tells you what direction you're going as well. If you're facing blue, if it's blue, you're going up. If it's brown, you're going back down to Earth. Pretty simple. Then you've got your actual pilot and other crew members in there as well. Quite handy. And at the very top, it tells you distance and everything similar. Very handy. So if I press space, it shall fly, which is quite handy. Which is what we wanted to do. So what will happen is, this down here in the bottom left, it'll tell you what happens, and it's run out of fuel. So it's run out of fuel, and it's continuously going up by altitude, but the parachute icon's red if you look at the bottom left. That means if I launch the parachute now, it will break. Simple as that. And then things will not be going well either. So we've got to wait for it to go up to its highest point. So as you can see here, the altitude will eventually slow down. Yep, and you can also check the speed as well of how fast you're going. So at the moment, we're just clocking over 100 meters a second, but as we start going back down to Earth, hopefully we should be able to launch a parachute nice and simple. Oh yes, that's another thing. You can use the WASD keys to direct the shuttle as well, or the rocket as well. Quite handy. Press space. launch. That, oh wait, that's doing a nosedive, that's never good. What you'll find as well is that this game's very intelligent. It does apply things like aerodynamics, so obviously the front nose at the moment, because there's no air in the parachute, the front nose will dive down first. But if we kind of fast forward a bit, oh, a little bit more. There we go. It will eventually open, and that will flip round. Hopefully. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. So that's now flipped around, because obviously the main weight is being supported by the nose, by the parachute, so the whole flips over. Nice and simple. And if we just fast forward again, when it lands, all we got to do is just recover our rocket. So when you're in flight, that doesn't move. But as soon as you land, you go up and you just go recover a vessel. So when you recover a vessel, you get this screen come up here, which is really handy. This tells you how much science and everything you've learned. So you've discovered 5 science points because you've got a rocket up to space and it came back down again. So you recovered a vessel that survived a flight. You will get this multiple times, but it's only the first time you get the most science out of it. So you've got to try and do more and more things. Parts. So I use 3 parts: the rocket booster, the parachute, and the actual command pod. Because they all came back down to terra firma, I get to use them again, which means I get the part value and the money back. So I didn't really spend as much money as I thought I did, which is really handy. Unfortunately, fuel, which is these 2 bits here, you don't get money back unless there's any left over, which there wasn't really such. So unfortunately, that I don't get any money back apart from the 10 mono propellant that I got back. But fuel's always used; you never get that back. And it tells you your total funds. Then crew gets experience. When they get better, they get more experience. Happy days. And done. So now we're back to this screen. So if we also look at the signal down here, it tells you other things. So we've done milestones. So we broke a speed record, we launched the first vessel, and other bits and bobs. And you can also get science and respect for it as well, so which is really handy. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go on to the mission control and get a contract or 2, because we're going to need that. So with the mission control, this is where you get all your contracts. Really handy. So different things. The stars represents how difficult it is. Simple as that. So the more stars it is, the more difficult. But the more difficult it is, the more you get from it. So as an example, let's say this one. If I observe, do an observational survey of Kerbal, which is the planet you're on, do objective, and I get 13,000 money with a bit of reputation as well. If I go for a 2-star one, I get 20,000, 4 science, and 8 reputation. So it's definitely worth looking through. This one's not a bad one. Just got to get 70,000 meters. That's doable. So I'm going to do that one. Hopefully. I'll leave it for now. Yeah, I'll leave it for now, and we'll go back. So back to here, and now we've got 11 points of science. We can use that science. So do you remember this place here, the Research and Development Centre? We can go there and we can learn science. Hopefully. With your science points, you can click on the bits that are available. So Engineering 101, you click on that, and it's got a nice big blue research button. This allows you to research these items. When you research the items, you now own those items, which means you can use them for your rockets, which is really handy. You've got quite a lot to research, but the other thing as well is that the more higher up it is on the research, the more science it costs. So these ones are quite cheap; they only cost 5 science, which is good to get us started. But the next one, stability, is 18, general rocketry is 20, and survivability is 15. So you've got to get the science in, and you can do that in a number of few ways: completing those contracts you get, or you can use science. So what I mean by using science is this. On the tabs you've got one bit here that says science. If you click on it, you can get, so I've got a thermometer and mystery goo. What you can do, you can chuck that into space, record it, and when you record the findings, that earns you science. So if I just add that, I know it sounds stupid, if I just add that to that and launch it, So now I've launched it. If I right click on here, you'll see that you get tab observe mystery goo. If I click on that, it will now let me observe it. So it comes up with this little menu bit here. What you can do is that you can reset the experiment, so put it back how it was. You can keep the experiment, or you can transmit the data, and that gives you science if it's recovered. So if I click on transmit data, yep, so we want to transmit that data, makes it inoperable, but what that does is that now view data, yep, yep, okay, yeah, transmit, yeah. So there we go. So if I recover the vessel, hopefully I should have some science. There we go. I've now got some science just for doing that. But obviously, when you go to outer space, if I did it again on the launch pad, I'm not going to get that science again. It's useless. But if I go, let's say, 70,000 meters in the air, then I can get some more science out of it. So that's the aim of the game. So what we're going to do is I am going to leave this here for now, just as an overlay introduction. And what we'll do next time is I will go through and we'll try and get out of the atmosphere. Hopefully.